Air Canada. When I say Air Canada, what immediately comes to mind for you? Is it the iconic red maple leaf painted on its tail? The modern-looking raccoon livery that it's painted on many of their current-day aircraft? Or maybe it's the extremely average reviews that Canada's national flag carrier airlines always seems to get? To me, Air Canada represents a mix of all that and much, much more. From being the first airline that I can positively remember flying with, to memories of long-haul trips between Canada and China, and the overwhelming nostalgia that fills me up whenever I see the iconic Maple Leaf airline, Air Canada means a great deal to me. Being the largest airline in Canada is no easy feat though. With an area of around 9.985 million square kilometers, Canada is the second largest country in the world by landmass. And despite its meager population count that pales in comparison with various other countries, becoming the largest airline, and subjectively the best airline in the country, requires years of planning, careful operations, and a whole lot of decisions that come together and make Air Canada such a household name among Canadians seeking travel in the air. So, here's a quick highlight reel on Air Canada, the largest Canadian airline. The company first became incorporated on April 10, 1937. That's 83 years ago to the day. Originally called Trans-Canada Airlines, simplified to TCA, this publicly owned air charter company began operations on the 1st of September of that same year, using their fleet of Lockheed Electra variants. Over the next 27 years, Trans-Canada Airlines operated regular flights and saw their headquarters move from Winnipeg to Montreal. In addition, they were, for a time, the only Canadian airline permitted to offer transcontinental flights, and soon saw themselves move forward to become the national airline of Canada. By 1964, under an Act of Parliament, the name of the company changed from Trans-Canada Airlines to what we now recognize them by, Air Canada. By 1987, transatlantic flights to Glasgow, Manchester, London, Paris, Zurich, Dusseldorf, Munich, Geneva, and Frankfurt, as well as Singapore and Bombay, were added. In addition to this, they had extensive coverage within the US and Caribbean destinations. In 1987, 50 years after Trans-Canada Airlines inaugurated itself, Air Canada had propelled itself forward and now had a fleet of 113 aircraft, including 5 Boeing 747s, 16 Lockheed L-1011s, 36 Boeing 727s, and 14 Boeing 767 aircraft. Speaking of historical fleet, Air Canada has had multiple changes to their aircraft collection over the years, and here are a few notable characters to feature the iconic red maple leaf. Between 1945 and 1963, Air Canada, or rather TCA, operated 30 workhorse and renowned DC-3 aircraft. It was indeed highly recognizable and offered supreme quality to its customers. Moving across the timeline, Air Canada operated the classic rear-mounted twin-engine plane, the ever-famous Douglas DC-9. Between 1966 and 2002, this 91-seat passenger plane was truly a classic of its time. Just the thought of Air Canada operating a Queen of the Skies seems insane to me, and you can imagine my surprise when I learned that Air Canada really had many 747 variants. Between 1971 and 1999, they operated the Dash 100 and Dash 200 Combi models, while their Dash 400 and 400 Combi models were used up until 2003. What's even more remarkable is that Air Canada had 2 Airbus A340-300 aircraft between 1995 and 2008, and 2 A340-500 planes between 2004 and 2007. However, a then 7-year-old me had no idea, and man, can't believe I missed that. Now, let's move forward to the current decade and showcase the highlights of modern-day Air Canada. The Canadian flag carrier, along with its subsidiaries Air Canada Express and Air Canada Rouge, combined together with a whopping fleet size of 390 aircraft. Their more notable assets include 4 Airbus A220-300 jets, 24 737 MAX 8 aircraft, and their largest member, the Boeing 777-300ER, of which they operate 19. With such a large fleet, it's only normal that Air Canada, along with their subsidiary airlines, should cater to a vast array of destinations. With about 1,500 scheduled flights every day and roughly 50 million passengers traveling with them in a year, it's safe to say that our nation's flag carrier certainly has worldwide connections and a well-renowned global status. One way to brand yourself as the nation's leading airline is to put your country's name and symbol in your airline logo. That seems pretty obvious. However, another fundamental step in recognizing the influence of Air Canada is through their rather boastful domestic market share. And that's exactly what it is. With 2018 statistics showing that roughly 46% of Canadian travelers choosing Air Canada as their travel company of choice, that's 12% higher than WestJet and miles ahead of any other Canadian competition. Being such a large company requires some keen planning and steady employee operations. That is why they employ 36,000 people. From gate agents to cabin crew to pilots and office workers, it's a steady and intricate operation that keeps Canada's national flag carrier up in the sky. And with that, the jackpot of information comes to an end. I hope it's been an insightful look into the operations and history of the largest Canadian airline, and I trust that you now understand a little more as to how and why Trans-Canada Airlines, and now Air Canada, has become a household staple in our country. I personally really like Air Canada and their quality service. From the renovated seats to their new comfortable cabin. I may be extremely biased, but I truly mean it when I say Air Canada is my favorite airline, and I'm glad I got this opportunity to share with you all the information that I have learned. Going into quarantine is not an easy thing to do, but for those of you who are able, please do so and be responsible in a time like this. And remember, let's stay positive, and when this current day situation is over, let's fly again. Feel free to follow my Instagram page linked in the description box below, and I thank you all so much for watching the video. I wish you all a good day, and remember, stay home, and when it's all over, let's stay flying, and have a great day everyone, and we'll see you all on the next flight. Cheerio!